in Kenya, public transport is actually private owned. So it's an individual or a group of people who buy a public transport vehicle. It can be a 14-seater or a 33-seater and have it on the road. But what that means is that it's not government controlled, it's not government run. And so you would have about, on one particular route, you could have about 1,000 public transport owners. And in a public transport vehicle, there's usually the driver, there's the conductor, the person who gets people into the vehicle and collects the bus fare. There's also somebody called kamagera. So this is a person who calls you into the public transport vehicle. And sometimes they'll even sit in a public transport vehicle in order to give it the illusion that it's about to get full. These people are all paid by, informally paid in the industry. So we say approximately one public transport vehicle supports about 4 people. And that is still, all that is still informal. There's no contract. There's no minimum wage. But it is very crucial because looking at Kenya's unemployment rate, we are about 60% of the population is under 35. Mm-hmm. We have a very high high youth unemployment rate. But you find public transport is the one place where as a youth you can go without having to dress up, without having to speak proper English, as we say in Kenya, speak a lot of English. Go for interview and still manage to go home with about $5, even for just calling people into a public transport vehicle. So when we started, as I mentioned, we started with my girlfriends. One of the things we struggled with was a lack of data. Mm-hmm. We had lived experiences of using public transport that were negative, but we could not find data to back our lived experiences. So, and that is why the foundation of what we do is knowledge generation. So we do a lot of research. And what we do after we get the research, it's action-oriented research. So we implement the research recommendations. And so what has changed is that there is greater conversation on the importance of gender and mobility. But also there's been a lot more interest in looking at the travel needs, not just for women, but also other vulnerable groups.